and welcome to Banking Frontiers Live. Today, I am with a great leader and a luminary from the Sri Lankan banking industry, and he is none other than Dr. Vijay Vardhana. Today, we are going to ask two very interesting questions to Mr. Vijay Vardhana. One is, how has the Sri Lankan banking industry come up resilient in this current banking scenario or the pandemic scenario? And the second, we are going to also look forward what is new going to happen in the Sri Lankan banking industry moving forward from here. So, Dr. Vijay Vardhana, welcome to Banking Frontiers Live.
Thank you very much for having me, Babu. It's a nice to see you again.
Thank you very much, sir. How has the banking business changed or transformed in the last few months? How has it come resilient in the last few months? And how is the economy and the banking business looking like?
Well, of course, Babu, you may be aware that the banking industry in Sri Lanka had been onto this technological advancements for a considerable period of time. But there was this external shock, unexpected external shock that was delivered to Sri Lanka's economy, of which the banking sector was the main casualty because the banking sector usually does its transactions face to face with the customers. So as a result, immediately when the economy was closed in March 2020, the banks were not able to provide their financial services to customers from on the basis of the model that they had been following in the past. So they have to go for a new one. So had been a large, because what happened was the technological advancement was accelerated by some of the banks, some of the leading banks in the country, because they had to now provide these services to customers. And as a result, there had been a number of new things that they had introduced. Number one was this immediately, in order to provide cash to customers and give liquidity to people, they started these mobile vehicles coming to a certain place on a pre-arranged day, ask the customers to come and get the cash, withdrawal cash. Then, of course, that was also again a risky matter, because what happened was when the pandemic spread unabated, the people also did not want to come and queue up in front of these mobile vehicles. What they used was they used the Uber taxi services, and also we have a Sri Lankan one called PickMe. So three-wheeler drivers were used by the banks, and the mobile computer and internet banking system was amended in order to enable the customers to log into their bank accounts and ask for the withdrawal of cash. Then immediately the Uber and the PickMe assigned their dedicated three-wheeler drivers who had to follow all kinds of these health guidelines, and they were given the cash by the bank branch, and they were delivered to the doorstep of the customers. So this is one of the things that they did immediately in order to provide liquidity, because given the present the situation in Sri Lanka, when the economy was closed down, the bank debit cards, credit cards, they were not operational anymore because the shops had been closed. What was done was the existing technological advancements in the banking sector were speeded up, and to provide a better service to customers. And in fact, it worked very well. And as a result, there was no any problem for banking customers to get the required liquidity to buy essential goods and services. Then again, the central bank introduced the QR, this quick response barcode, and introduced it to all the retail shop makers, just like PayPal. And if you they had the app, mobile phone app, and what you have to do is you have to just the QR code has to be recognized, and you just pay, and your account is debited.
How has it affected the balance sheets of the bank? Has there been a considerable change?
Well,
What percentage of the business has gone down?
Well, of course, the present government in Sri Lanka is following a lower interest rate regime in order to stimulate the economy. So as a result, the lending rates of the banks had been brought down to a single digit level from the 2-digit level, which had earlier uh, been practiced by the bank. So as a result, most of the banks, the final profits during the 22-21 financial year, they have been halved. They have come down by about 50%. But they had got the support from the government because the government had cut down the income tax rate from 24% applicable to banks to 16%.
Okay. And has the government given any moratorium to the customers?
They
Like,
have, the central bank had announced a moratorium of say 6 months, which was again extended by another 3 months. But in my opinion, these moratoriums won't help any of the customer because it will simply help the bank customers to go through the difficult period. But it will not help them to restart their business and then to generate new incomes. So on that ground, I don't think the moratorium would have been an effective measure to help the customers.
when you see technologically, what is the kind of road ahead now for Sri Lankan banks? What are they looking at in terms of payments or in terms of digital transformation? Is there any major activity happening in the Sri Lankan markets from that perspective, which you know?
Two things are coming up right now. One is these APIs, the use of the big data by the application program interface systems, so that the banks are using, number one, the data internal to them for the development of various banking products inside the bank. The banks are sharing this information with other banks also. So as a result, the big data, use of big data for the development of the banking sector in a transparent manner is now taking place in Sri Lanka. Number two is central bank has insisted that these banks will have to go for this blockchain technology in order to provide customer services, and that is also being done. Number three is like the Reserve Bank of India, Central Bank of Sri Lanka also is promoting a cryptocurrency of its own, which is called the fiat cryptocurrency. In future, within the next 3 to 4 year time period in Sri Lanka, you will not have the rupees currency notes, rupee currency notes and cents in physical form. They will be all digital form issued by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. And the banks are now adopting their technological base to accommodate the central bank's new cryptocurrency move. So that is what is happening. The three things are happening in Sri Lanka's banking sector as far as the technology is concerned. But of course, it takes time. It will take about 3 to 4 year time period for them to deliver the products.
Interesting. So, moving forward, how is the banking industry now looking at taking its business to the next level? What are
Well,
the new things that
next level will be in the case of Sri Lankan banks. Now they will have to first consolidate on the new because this is called new normal. New normal for them. Now they will have to train their staff to the new normal. And most of the banks are going for this artificial intelligence AI for bank processing of banking transactions. So as a result, what I would feel is that unless the banking staff gets themselves used to new AI type of banking transactions, they will become redundant because they will have to now get ready to work with a machine which is more intelligent, more efficient, speedier, and also providing an objective and dispassionate service to customers. So these are the things that are happening now in the banking sector in Sri Lanka.
wonderful, sir. I think that was a great encapsulation of what has happened during the pandemic, what is happening now, and where we are going to the future. Thank you so much for your interesting
You
insight.
are welcome, Babu. Thank you very much for having me.